Alrighty guys, what is going on? So this is the very first video in Sneaker Life in the Six. So I went on Instagram, which by the way, if you guys don't know, there's Instagram for us. Down below in the description of this video will be the link for that if you guys want to go ahead and follow me. Basically, the other day I posted a Q&A sticker on Instagram on my storyline asking you guys what my first video should be of, and a couple of you guys are actually asking me some questions and giving me suggestions, and so I kind of figured, you know what, let me just answer those questions because I'm sure you guys have the same. So let's get into it. So first things first, what got me into starting Sneaker Life in the Six? Now, if you guys do not know, I also run my main channel, My Life in the Six, which will also be linked down below, both the YouTube channel and Instagram page. Check both of them out. Follow both Sneaker Life and My Life in the Six. Give you guys a very different perspective on the things that are, near and dear to my heart. In this case, sneakers. So the one thing that really got me into this is actually my love for shoes, style, being unique, getting to put pieces of clothing together to kind of form my own, I don't want to say trend, but style. Again, being unique. Now, the one thing that I want to mention is, one, that my camera is not centered. There we go. The one thing that I do want to mention is that I'm going to be starting something pretty big in the next 6 months to 8 months, maybe a year. I gotta take my time on it, so I don't want to say exactly what it is, just so that way I don't have you guys constantly asking me like, oh, when is this happening? When is it happening? But just wait on it, and I promise you guys it is something huge. So over the last few months, I've been on my main Instagram, My Life in the Six, asking you guys, I want to create a second channel. What should it be? My initial thought for the idea was actually something strictly work related, so like, work boots, clothing, reviews, and stuff like that. And then I kind of figured, you know what? I really could get away with doing that with My Life in the Six because, well, for one, work is a pretty big part of my life. But sneakers, despite also being a big part of my life, is something that I wanted to have a whole new perspective on. In this case, I have a separate channel as well as a separate Instagram. I'm eventually going to come up with a website. I'm in the process of trying to work that out with different, suppliers. So there's that. Now, the one other thing that really got me into this is, again, similar to what I said earlier, the love that I have for sneakers and overall, and by the way, I apologize. Let me do one of those because I think that the lighting in here could be a little bit better. There we go. Cooler tone. I just think personally that when it comes to shoes and styles, especially seeing what's going around now in terms of the newest and latest and greatest sneakers, that, not even just sneakers, but streetwear. I live in the city that I love Toronto. If you guys do not know, I'm from Toronto, born and raised here in Canada. So shout out to all us Canadians. Shout out to everybody. And that's that. Now, when it comes to style and trends, a lot of you guys ask me on Instagram, what kind of trends do I like to get into? I'm personally not into getting into following trends. I don't really consider myself a trendsetter either. But at the same time, I am the kind of person that does like to kind of follow certain aspects of a trend. Like, for instance, Yeezys. I got my first pair of Yeezys. Right now, I only have one. I am thinking of getting a pair of creams, but I don't know exactly how much I'm willing to do that because of the price of the shoes. And, I've noticed over the last few weeks and months following that price on Flight Club and StockX, it's not really going up the way I thought it would. Sorry, guys. So that being said, that's something that I got to look out for in terms of an investment. If let's say I change my mind somewhere down the road, that's a huge part of the sneaker culture, which is another reason why I get into this, the culture. It is something that is very different from just saying it's a part of fashion. The sneaker culture in and of itself and the streetwear culture is way different than just saying fashion statement. It's, one, going to change based off of where you are. You guys go to like Atlanta, you guys go to New York, you guys go to Chicago, for instance, a couple different states on the US. You guys go down to Vancouver, which frankly I don't really consider a part of Canada, like Montreal or any part of Quebec for that matter, because reasons. I'm just joking about that, obviously. But my whole point is, every culture is different, and the sneaker culture is diverse, not only just in and of itself, but based off of where you're coming from. Like for instance, you guys look at like the 80s and 90s, you got like Biggie Smalls and like the rap community. The rap culture really inspired the sneaker culture, in my opinion, because of the fact of how it's changed over the years due to the influence that music has gotten into. With sneakers and streetwear and just design, and all these rappers getting into their own like clothing labels and brands and collaborations with Jordan and Nike and Adidas and Reebok and all these different brands. You look at Travis Scott, for instance, prime example. Kanye West, prime example. These are two rappers that are very, very influential in the sneaker culture, in the streetwear culture, in the modern trends that are coming about, and we see that. Now, in terms of the next question that you guys were asking me, that is, what kind of shoes do I prefer personally if I had to make a recommendation for somebody that's new into the sneaker game, that's looking to really spend their, hard-earned money on a pair of shoes. Now, I don't really want to get into this because this, again, is one of those things that, like I mentioned, I'm not into trends. So you might be, and you might be into dad shoes, for instance. I'm not into dad shoes completely in terms of any aesthetic, but I do appreciate, for instance, I'm a big fan of Yeezys, if you guys can already tell. If you guys go on my Instagram page, again, link down below in the description, Snake11 I have a whole bunch of different concepts that I've borrowed from other people, and, these show the potential that, shoe manufacturers have. Now, when it comes to certain things, like I mentioned, in terms of recommending a good shoe, see what you're comfortable with, quite literally, as well as financially, because I can't say just go with a Yeezy, because one, depends on the model, 2, depends on the style and the colorway, and then 3, depends on the size, 4, depends on what, when, because these prices are always changing. So you got to really understand, as well as, do you want something that's more modern, or do you want something that's got like a laid back classic look, like I don't know what it's from Asics. I don't remember what the model is, but all these are like an Air Force One. There's so many different Air Force Ones that are not $100 or $150 or whatever they cost, that are like hundreds of dollars for an Air Force One, which is crazy thinking about it, basically. But when you think about the reason why the price is the way it is, you're thinking about the collaboration, like for instance with Off-White, that's crazy. So there's that. And then again, if I had to give you a bit of like a bare bones kind of vague answer to the question of what sneaker I'd recommend, I would probably say stick with something that's going to be comfortable, and don't worry about something that all your friends have. Get something that you like because you like it, not because somebody else tells you to. And then lastly, what has gotten me into my rotation, like what's gotten into my rotation lately, is pretty much, actually, I think my most recent purchase was my 5th or 6th pair of Air Force Ones, or 4th or 5th. I don't remember how many pairs I've had. I've had several pairs over the years, and this is my 2nd or 3rd pair of whites. I bought an all-white pair, the classic all-white low-cut. I want to get a high-cut version, but I don't really know exactly if I want to get them white, because I have the low-cut, and, But between those and then the Ultra Boost that's definitely something that I've had for about 2 years now, I think, and you can't go wrong with it. You really can't. Between that, and I have the 4.0, like the original 4.0 Ultra Boost, not the 2019 model, which I'm thinking of getting. It's just a little expensive, so there's that. But when it comes to stuff like that, what's recently got into my rotation, and for those of you guys who are curious how I kind of come up with my rotation, like how do I decide what stays and what goes? Typically, if I don't wear, for at least a month, I will usually keep it out of my rotation. If I don't consider going back to it after 6 months, I donate it. I do not keep shoes I don't wear. I will not buy shoes I don't wear. There are shoes for, that I like the look of that I just won't wear, and I kind of feel like that's normal. But anyways, guys, that is going to be it for this video. I don't want to keep this going on for much longer. thank you to everybody watching this. You, people on Instagram, everybody. And yeah, love you guys. Until next time, Sneaking Life in the 6. I'm out.